Good evening, Sustainable PH, and welcome back to Let's Get It Done. This is our ninth episode, and for tonight, we have two women empowered our globe, our communities, for people and planet. So we have two guests, and I'll call the first guest for our show, Miss Hilary Howe of Global Shapers Hub Manila, and let's get to know her. And later on, after her presentation or her promotion of the event, we have one of our good friend from Lapu-Lapu City. She is one of the contestant of the upcoming Miss Earth Philippines Lapu-Lapu City, Miss Claire Codilla, joining us later on their advocacies for the community. So let's have with us Miss Hilary.
Hi everyone. Good evening. Hi Dan.
Ayong gabi, Hilary. I know you are so busy for your tomorrow's event, but before that, campaigning for our participants and engagement, would you tell us a bit of who you are and your organization, and what is like Global Shaper? Yes.
Okay, sure. So hi everyone. Good evening. My name is Hilary. I'm from the Global Shapers community. Maybe a little bit about the Global Shapers before I talk about the Manila Hub. So the Global Shapers is a youth-led community born out of the World Economic Forum, which is a global institution that wants to bring people together to try and solve some of the biggest and pressing problems in this world. So um, I'm from the Manila Hub, and what it means to be a global shaper is really, are you part of the youth who's passionate about driving the change in your city? So, as a global shaper of the Manila Hub, we're in Metro Manila. So, yeah, that's a little bit about what we are and what we do as shapers.
Yes, I got to know about Global Shapers from my friends also in Cebu, Hilary. They are also part of that Global Shapers community. And I got to know also of this World Economic Forum in Davos. And I would really love to go there, but I think my age is not anymore part of Global Shapers. So I know the World Economic Forums are mostly businessmen, influencers, talking about the global problems and how each one can contribute. So that's why Hilary is taking this role in Metro Manila to translate those, global goals into actions in the community. Am I right about that, Hilary?
Absolutely right, Dan. And we have a number of projects actually under the Manila Hub for the Global Shaper. So I think everyone tuning in might be extremely familiar with the Sustainable Development Goals. And so we try to align our projects for the SDG. So I'm leading a project on food and nutrition, which we can talk about in a little bit. But some of the other projects that our hub is leading is some projects on financial literacy to include more women to be more aware of how to manage their finances. We also have activities and projects about menstrual health with our project called Period Party, just trying to destigmatize and to encourage conversation about menstrual health for women. Two other projects that we're proud about leading is one, we're part of the Marikina Water Coalition, which is trying to get Metro Manila mayors on board to protect our watershed, to avoid the flooding that we've seen in the past few years in Marikina. And last but not the least, I think everyone knows next year is an election year, and so we're trying our best to try to get as many whether it's youth or non-youth to register right now. We only have about a month to go, and it's very important that everyone votes because your voice matters. Your vote really, really counts so that next year we can make the most out of the election year.
Wow, I think you already sum up your, grassroots work, not only in Metro Manila, but the entire country being the capital, of the Philippines. So yes, with us also, Hilary is going to talk about their program tomorrow, which is part of this goal number 2 on sustainable development goals. So, could you tell us, Hilary, how are we excited, or what's the preparation for this tomorrow's event, and what is it for, and who are our speakers and partners of this event?
Okay, totally happy to share that, Dan. So tomorrow we're having an event called Good Food for All. How do we use food systems to tackle urban hunger or food security? So just in a nutshell, let me describe what this project is. You guys might have seen the statistics. SWS released a statistic from last year in October 2020. 1 out of 5 Filipinos are hungry. Just imagine that. In a Filipino household, there are about 4 to 5 people. That means one person in every household is hungry. That's incredibly alarming. And what makes matters worse is that the incidence of hunger is actually worse in Metro Manila, which is the most dense. So from that 20% to around 22.5, I think, are hungry in Metro Manila. And so we see that it's very important to look at cities. And maybe one more thing, sorry, this totally slipped my mind, but I was talking to some friends about, because I am very passionate about the plight of farmers. So farmers do a lot of work, but then they live such a hard life and they don't live exactly a rich life, right? And I was wondering, with the pandemic and with the restrictions that happened, how are they? How are they doing? Because they don't have access to markets. And my friends would tell me the farmers are actually okay. While they're not earning so much, they have their produce in the farm, and so they don't go hungry. The people that are really suffering are in the cities. When they lose their job, they don't have farms to turn to. They don't have like trees of mangoes to pick from, and so they are really, really, really hungry. And so with that, we decided to bring together this program to try to see what we can do to address urban hunger. Now, going to the speakers, so we've invited a we try to be as diverse as possible because there are so many players, as we've seen in the past year, contributing to solving this problem that we see in our cities. For one of our so we have 5 speakers. The first is this powerful lady called Monica, who leads Project Pearls, feeds which is a direct feeding program that feeds hungry people in Tondo. We also invited the private sectors. We have Nestle present, going to talk about their initiatives in tackling malnutrition, which is often like hidden hunger that we don't physically see, but it's present. Aside from that, we're also inviting, I think you guys have seen that there are urban gardening initiatives going on. So we invited somebody who is working with Barangay Baseco in Manila to build and talking about how he's built community gardens in that community. And the last thing, and this part's a little bit controversial. There are people that are hungry, but then there are people that just have too much. Sometimes we buy food and then we have food waste. And so we've invited somebody to talk to us and tell us about what we can do with food waste. How can we properly use what we think is garbage into something that it can actually be useful for our systems? Then to tie it all together, we've invited, because we have so many different projects, but sometimes what we need is like a conductor, somebody to bring it all into synergy. So we invited an urban planner to talk about how all of these things, all of these initiatives can come together to build the urban food system that we want. What I'm really excited about is that just today we've gotten feedback from some government agencies that they'll be present tomorrow afternoon to listen in on some of these solutions and possibly to see how we can incorporate this in their city. So we are lucky to be graced by the presence of officials from Quezon City, Mandaluyong, and Pasig tomorrow joining our event. So I hope anyone that's listening in from those cities or anywhere in Metro Manila or anywhere in the country that might be interested to see how you can learn from this and talk to your own government officials, please join. Go to our Facebook page, Global Shapers Manila. You can see there in one of our links, we have the event. You can click the Eventbrite link and sign up through that link. And we'll see you tomorrow at 2 to 5 p.m. Hopefully it's only 3 hours by tomorrow.
Yeah. So, and Hillary, yes, I know. Cities really have problems on food because there's no more land, right? So, I hope that will be introduced how each one can not only be plantitas selling, ornamental plants, but growing vegetables, lesser plastics, because buying in packaging, mostly in plastics. And this month is July, is plastic free month, and growing your own food is being more healthy and saving your pocket and saving the environment. So are you also incorporating that, how urban condos can also support or grow their own food initiatives in Manila, Hilary?
Absolutely. We'll probably tackle it during our event. And maybe if I can add, July month is not just no plastic month, it's also nutrition month. And so you see how this goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah, yes, yes. July in the Philippines is Nutrition Month, and here in our organization also, Hillary, we have also been partnering with Global Shapers Cebu on environment, and nationwide we also do have a campaign on food gardens movement. No, it was launched last year during the time of the COVID pandemic last June last year, and we've created a urban permaculture farm in Project 8, Bahay Turo. So you can also link with what we are doing, because we are part in Metro Manila, and we have a team there, Gio Almoite. I'll also ask him to join. I hope your sessions are on FB Live or recording, so
Yes,
we can watch, rewatch, and memorize and apply. For
absolutely.
those.
Yes. So
Yeah.
absolutely. So for those that won't be able to register on Zoom, they will also be streaming this on our page on Facebook, as well as to have a recording of the sessions available for anyone that might want to look back and like keep referencing what we've discussed.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hillary, and the rest of the Global Shapers team in Manila, the community, and
Thank you.
we.
Thank you. Maybe one last thing. Dan, sorry. For anyone
Yeah.
listening, to any young person out there who's also equally passionate about building and making a difference in Metro Manila, as long as you're under 27, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you on our team, and we'd love to have you in our community. So similar as our event page, find us on Facebook, find us in our website, www.globalshapersmanila.org, and drop us a note. Say hi. We'd love to hear you and what your dreams are for Metro Manila. Thanks, Stan.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you. And if you're under 27, I'm already more than 27. I can't be part of it, but I encourage everyone to take action, stop talking, start acting, be a global shapers in your community, and connect with Hillary or their Facebook page. And each city have a global shapers community. So thank you, Hillary. And yeah, one of your partner project, what was that? Is
Pearls?
also Project Pearl. I'd like to extend our also thanks and gratitude, to Ma'am Melissa, because during the time of Hayan, they were our partners, supporting our Energy for All campaign. They've reached as far as the Visayas, providing solar and food packs all over the country. So thank you, Project Pearls. Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you, Hilary. See you in person.
Thank you. See you
All
all in person soon. Be safe, everyone. Thank you.
right. Thank you. And that was Hilary Howe from Zamboanga, but she's now in Manila doing her role to be a global shapers, not only in the Philippines but specifically in Manila. So if you're 27 years old, be a global shapers. Thank you, Hilary. And next, our guest is very special as well. She is so beautiful inside out, very down to earth, protecting our environment, because she is also representing Lapu-Lapu City as Miss Earth Philippines 2021. So we wish her luck. Why am I bringing here while I'm bringing her dito sa Let's Get It Done program, kasi po nagkakilala kami just like maybe 3 weeks ago through a common friend, and gusto niyang masalimuha or to engage in our farmers, fishers community in the island of Olango. So that's how we connected. So let's bring in Miss Claire Codilla from Lapu-Lapu City representing Miss Earth Philippines Lapu-Lapu City 2021. So let's have
Hi, Sir
her.
Dan! Good evening! Good evening sa lahat
Mayong
na nandito na nanood. Mayong gabi ka na
gabi,
tong tanan.
kagwapa gyud oy.
Uy, may kungta. Hi,
Yeah,
Sam! I see the
yeah,
comments below.
something
Sam is also a
Lapu-Lapu.
sister.
Wow. Yeah. Tell us first, Claire. Let us know. Maybe let us know you in what is the story? Why are you joining Miss Earth? No. What pushes you to take this beauty and advocacy? No? Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually think that it started way back. My love for the environment started way back talaga, Sir Dan, when I was probably in high school or college na parang kung Bisaya pa kanang naglaag-laag na. I don't know if it's the same sa Tagalog. But I was able to go out more often. And when I did go out, I saw the beauty of all of the different natural resources that we have. Nasayangan lang talaga ako because every time I see all the wonderful, beautiful spaces and places that we have in our city, I always see them ruined by trash. I always see them ruined by, especially for water, mga oil spillage. I mean, it breaks my heart. So I've always had that love for the environment. I always, as much as possible, join yung mga cleanup drives, and I, as much as possible, would love to spread the word to everybody who can also be of help. Because we have to really save the earth, and as much as we can, this is our only place, this is our only home. So fast forward to Miss Philippines Earth 2021. I actually did not know when the pageant was going to be, but I was referred by Carla Henry, also of Lapu-Lapu, and she told me that it was a great platform for me to really speak out about my advocacy. So I wasn't really super into beauty pageants talaga. I was Miss Lapu-Lapu, and then I went to a city pageant, Pinipining Cebu, but I thought that was it. I thought, okay, parang it may be not for me. But this time, it was a little bit different because it's more content driven. It's really more about our advocacy. And so we have to submit every single day. We have our videos where we can, educate everybody on how we can better save our environment through sustainable methods, through recycling. And also, dito talaga ako nakapapromote ng solid waste management advocacy ko, which is such a broad spectrum. And, okay, we have a picture, I think, that's coming up. Hi! Ayun, so this was taken in Olango, and you were also, you arrived late dun, sir, but you connected me to the Seed for Com dun sa Olango. This was where we ventured out to the Payao, which I'm sure, I hope I say this right when I explain this. The Payao is like this man-made fish sanctuary so that our fishermen and our fisher folks don't need to waste their gas to go all the way towards the deep ends of the ocean. Meron na silang their own little sanctuary where they can regulate and they can also sustain themselves. And of course, this is one of the initiatives ni Sir Dan, the CEO of Seed for Com. Did I do that right, sir? Did I explain it right?
Yeah. Yes, and you really they were surprised. Our fishermen and our members were surprised when you take a deep swim into that blue ocean. How was the experience? Did you see the fish when you swam out of that deep blue water?
It was such a fun experience, sir. Kay a lot of the people who are on board with me, especially I remember the SK representative of Panganan was there, and also his friend. They were so scared to swim because it was too deep and it was very. The tides were so strong. It was a stormy-ish weather going there. Pero ako, oh my gosh, I loved it so much. Parang I couldn't help it anymore. I took my shirt off and then boom. I was more confident because of course the fisher folk were there because one fisherman was already there by the water. So there I was swimming by the water and I just felt, I don't know, I feel so connected to sea, sir. So in terms of my visibility, kasi I was not
Yeah.
prepared. Wala akong binocular. Wala akong goggles at that time. And no goggles, and the fisher folk did not have goggles too. They had what we called parang antipara. It was a broken goggle pa dun, sir. So I had to swim all the way to the boat again to get the broken antipara. Isa lang yun, sir. Isa lang yun. So it's like a goggle that broke in half na. So what I did was I tried my best. I put it in one of my eye. Pero when I went down under, it was almost impossible for me to see with just one eye, and water comes there. And then at the same time, it's also blocking my view. So, sige lang, next time I will definitely
Yeah.
bring the right equipment so that I can see the fish that are
Prepared.
there.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yes,
the prepared
and
answer.
yeah, and after that, we were also not prepared that you really out of the way get out of that boat. And do you know how deep is that water?
I think very deep. Not sure. I didn't
It's
have the
like
goggles. Oh, I hope that's her.
300 meters.
Okay.
Yeah, 300 meters deep. Yes. Anyway, so
300
let's go proceed.
meters. Wow.
Yeah. Mm. And then we have a delicious fish, si kinilaw. Anyway, so aside from that, what are the experiences you have in the island that you can bring in? Beyond the pageant and the advocacy, because I know joining a pageant it really increase your influence. People get to know
Yes.
you, and you have more power now to help change, no, through your videos or speeches. They get more inspired, to do local action. So, what are other things that you learned from the island? Yeah.
So another thing that I was also exposed to was the material recovery facility, the MRF dun sa Olango, and it's not in a very good shape actually. There are so many things that needs to be done. I even have a picture, one of it where I was surrounded by garbage. You cannot see the ground anymore, and it spanned meters and meters. And when I was there, I was in total shock. It's different, my good sir, if you know that it's going to be there, if you know where your waste goes, versus you being actually there and you can see it, you can smell it, you can touch it, you can feel it. Murag, it all feels so real. So that was a slap on the face for me. Okay, this is what I'm fighting for. This is why I'm joining. This is my purpose. And I wanted a lot of people
True.
to, sometimes we just need to expose people of how how grave our situation in trash is, especially with how parang we don't have ownership of our waste. We're just so used to the culture of convenience where we can just throw anything and anywhere, anytime, any place, and somebody will pick it up for us because we utilize and we use that material, and then pagkatapos nun, wala na, tapon lang. We don't even care where it goes. But I was there. I was on the receiving end of where all of the trash was in Olango Island alone. How much more if it's an entire city like in Lapu-Lapu? So I felt grabe yung feeling ko, sir. Parang, is this real? Is this why are we doing this to our environment? And for the material recovery facility, then I was able to talk to one of the heads there, and they really need all the help that they can get. They still lack their equipment. They definitely lack manpower. Ang dami ng pwede nilang magawa for recovering those different wastes, but it's just not possible because of certain factors. Na pwede lang sana if we were all able to work together, and if we were all able to probably just donate our time or donate our services or just help in whatever way that we can. Like for example, if we have the time to share po, sir, because they were going to build this little compost pit dun sa backyard nila so that all the different barangays in the island can have a little community compost. I remember you telling us that this was going to be a good way, sir, for us to lessen our food waste. I know that food waste is very, very dangerous because it produces methane in the long run. And what we're doing right now is if we don't segregate, we put that food waste in our containers, we spill it over, parang it will build up over time. It will even explode, who knows? And so they were trying to mitigate that. Pero yung problema nila, iba pa rin. Because they were making a fence out of tarpaulin and wood. And it was, I don't know how many meters that was. It was a pretty big fence. Pero because of the structural integrity dun sa fence nila, mga baka, mga aso, mga kanding, they were able to eat the entire crops and the vegetables that they planted on towards the compost pit. So para sa kanila, they were working so hard, and look at what's happening now. Parang things are out of their control and they can't really do anything. So I thought of a solution. we make eco bricks. Why don't we just gather all of the different eco bricks that people have been making, kahit konti lang, and let's cement that para structurally very okay, very strong yung solid foundation ng fence nila. They were very happy. They were very on board with it. Hopefully, we have every all the resources that we can, and hopefully we can help with the government. Yun. Okay, so this picture is these were our top 5 eco brickers from Barangay Paho in Lapu-Lapu City. I was able to organize together with our sponsors. I'm not sure if this has happened before, but kind of a zero waste feeding program. No trash was put in the trash can in the making of this feeding program, because I taught the kids to segregate their wastes. So yung mga food wastes nila, we put it in a compost box that we were going to pick up. We're gonna put in a compost pit afterwards. And a lot of them didn't even know what eco bricks were. So they put all of their styrofoam cups, they put all of their different containers inside the plastic bottle, and we made it into a contest. So at least yung mga kids have an idea of what they can do. We can definitely help save our environment in our own little way. And I hope na they were able to bring that home with them. And yung nakakahirap lang, sir, explaining to the parents. And there we go. Our eco brick bottles. So yung ginawa namin, sir, it was like a take-home assignment na. So hopefully they're able to fill it up to the brim na, and we could use those eco bricks to help our brothers and sisters in Olango who needs that so much. So ayun, we really involve them, and I really hope that they're able to send them back to Barangay Paho so we can utilize them rin. It was a great experience. The kids were they had so much fun kasi ginawa ng contest. It was a fun and creative way for them to learn, and I was so happy to do that.
When you have a video like a fashion show, what is this? It's like,
Yes.
what is this? Eco bricks fashion?
Yeah, I wanted to also let them feel what being a pageant is, and we had all of the girls. We made rampa with our eco bricks because they're brand ambassadors for the eco bricks in Paho. So I wanted to engage in a way where beauty queen meets purpose, meets sustainability, and accountability.
So I hope from the kids there we can get Mr. Earth and Miss Philippines in the future.
Diba? It's a training ground for those who would
Yeah.
love to help serve the environment in their ways. Sana, sir, ipatrain ko sa'yo, sir.
Di ikaw na, because you are trained to do that. Not me. So we have a comment from Herma Abalyar. Go Miss Lapu-Lapu City, Claire Codilla, and Joey Codilla, as well
Hi,
as
Auntie
Sam.
Jay.
And
Hi, Daddy.
Pat,
Hi, Sam.
clapping, virtual clap, and yeah, it's been a while. But anyway, so aside from that, what else are you bringing in? What makes you
Hi,
unique as Lapu-Lapu, representing Lapu-Lapu? Especially, we're celebrating the 500 years
Yes.
of our and humanity. So what's Claire empowering our Miss Earth Philippines? Yes.
Sir, I really believe in synchronicities. It was during my little hosting for the 500 years quincentennial ceremony in Lapu-Lapu, wherein I was told by Miss Carla to apply. And Lapu-Lapu has been my home for 26 years that I've existed here in this world, and I love it so much. I love all the beaches. I love all the different natural resources that we have. And so I brought all of those different stories into the competition, as well as my love for the environment. So a couple of people would find it very unorthodox, would find it very unpageant-like. But for me, kasi sir, I really wanted to spread the message in whatever platform and whatever different advocacies and contests that we have. So what I did is, instead of having to purchase all of the different things that I needed for the competition, we make them from waste. Like, for example, the earrings that I wore for my long gown competition was made out of a recycled plastic bottle by none other than the hands of my sister, Bianca Codilla. I mean, it was very sentimental for me, and it was hopefully a unique idea. Hopefully they see na parang this really is a mission for me to push my advocacy, because you can turn trash into art. And imagine if this was the mindset of a lot of the people who are here. So instead of buying all of these different things, gagawa na lang tayo ng paraan na we can make it into a wearable, sustainable fashion statement, because that's done before. And although hopefully execution wise, I definitely need a lot of work, pero it's the concept that I'm bringing forth to the pageant. And teaser lang to, sir, ha, kasi hindi pa siya lumabas, but my swimsuit for the swimsuit competition is actually also recycled from my rash guard, and we also put sandoplastics to make it spark, reused and recycled sandoplastics and mga tansan. So hopefully people appreciate that. Hopefully they see that I want a lot of my wardrobe choices to be zero waste, although it's very hard to be completely like that. Pero somehow, that's what I want to bring to the competition. So hopefully, ma-okay sila nun.
Yeah, so it's
And of
using
course,
like fashion,
yes,
trash,
exactly.
and then reusing of things, because we have so much materials already. Instead of discarding them, as Miss Claire would tell us, to reuse or upcycle with our craftsmanship as a fashion or other usable things. So that's also very enterprising. That's why we invited you in our Let's Get It Done Sustainable PH, because you and Hilary earlier are the women who makes things happen, no, on the ground. No? So that's what we need. And talking about environment, we will never neglect the people in the island,
Not at
farmers,
all.
fishers. So how are you? How were they, and how they? Maybe what are the insights or learnings from your engagement with our island people or young people? So yeah, that would be
Mm-mm.
my last questions. And
Oh,
how are
okay.
they facing with COVID? Are they, with this new normal? So how is the island of Olango and Lapu-Lapu City? How are we doing in terms of promoting our city, our ecotourism side, and taking care of
Yes.
our people?
You know what, Sir Dan? From what I know and from what I see, Lapu-Lapu City is slowly building up our eco-tourist economy, and in general, businesses are slowly opening up because of the losses of the pandemic. They have been very, very big talaga for all of our small business owners, especially for those who are just starting out. But we can't hindi ko talaga ma-compare yung struggle ng mga brothers and sisters natin sa Olango Island. They have come to a point where it's really about survival. They have been hungry and thirsty to the point because it's very hard for them to access clean water and clean food. And so sustainable livelihood comes in the picture. And I think that it's really good for us to be pushing these for our different farmers and for our different fisher folks, because we're giving them an opportunity for them to get their food sustainably. And at the same time, I love the different initiatives that we have, like the payao, and at the same time helping them understand how to plant fruit trees, because it can be generated, the food that they need for their hunger can be generated by themselves. Pero ayan, there were just a lot of problems and a lot of struggles that are coming in the way, especially in the island of Panganan. They're in need of medical supplies for all of their kids who have just been sick for some reason, and I'm definitely going to be visiting them next week. But I want to talk about the fisher folk for a moment, because they were able to explain to me how grateful they were sa Payao, to the point where they have this little watchtower poster. It's really made out of parang mga little wood pieces, tapos tarp yung nasa roofing nila, and then solar powered light. I know that was an idea by Seed for Com. I'm very sure that was by Seed for Com. But the one thing that I felt really bad, sir, was that although they were so empowered to regulate anybody who will touch their payao, it kind of compromises their health if they go ahead and parang they all huddle together and they sit there in the evening dun sa payaw nila, and the tarps have all of these holes, so when it does rain they don't have any sort of protection. So with that, it's another problem that I really want to help solve, because I remember back as a student at University of San Carlos, in our building, there were these architecture students who they built some kind of circular bamboo circular structure na pwede that people can stay in, and it's very grabe yung structural integrity doon. It was there for the longest time. So hopefully I can tap into these people once again to help our fisher
Yeah.
folks, to give them some kind of protection from the weather and to help ease, diba? Because they don't really have areas in that little watchtower of theirs, and a lot of them nagpundok din sila nga to sir luoy jud kayo lang kahimtang. And
Mm-mm.
this is something that we can do as a community together to help our fisher folks who have been affected by the pandemic, who are struggling to, as much as possible, get back up on their feet. So the entire experience for me, sir, dun sa Olango Island and the immersion for Seed for Calm, and seeing all of the stories of these people, seeing that they work so hard and yet parang it's not enough yung mga efforts nila, it really pushed me to send the message across to everybody who I know, especially now that I'm using this platform as a pageant. It's a national pageant, so the eyes of the Philippines are on me and all of the other candidates. I chose to use it as a platform na makakasend ako ng message if we can donate as possible, or if we can even volunteer to help these people, because these are the people who deserve help the most. Very thankful nga for Seed for Calm and for
Yeah.
all of the LGU, and of course for you, sir, for really immersing me in this, because once my heart is touched, I become so passionate in really pushing forth the message and the advocacy, and definitely more to come. I really want na right now, before the pageant ends, matulungan ko na yung mga farmers and mga fisher folks natin. So, masettle down na sila. And, a problem after problem, I hope we can find a solution even after the pageantry. I am very much, very, very available to help with whatever ways that I can.
Yeah. And the other thing is we were also happy because even though you were so wet after swimming, no clothes, yeah, no extra shirts to carry, you were surprised how you are so engrossed with this, I don't know, this anime or manga thing. So what's in Olang and the business, even the pandemic, there's so much business now in the island. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
love with those, what's that, Japanese manga? What was that?
Anime manga. It was a nice shop that you really toured me, sir, pagkatapos when we were relaxing, because I myself am a huge fan of this community. I'm an event organizer and I am a co-organizer of one of the biggest hobbyist events dito sa Cebu, Arcon Cebu. So I know the community that really looks for and yearns for these kinds of little cafes. O yun, so it became semi-viral and so many people have featured my little musings na lang po, sir. And the nice thing about that is, again, diba, sir, I believe in all of these synchronicities that is given to us by whatever universal power that there is. Si sir owner of the cafe, si Sir Ronnie, I have actually met personally without me even knowing. Nakaka-picture ako sa kanya in a convention 2 years before, and there I was in his cafe without even knowing na siya pala yun, yung nasa mask, yung pinipicture ko. So, grabe yung experience ko dun, sir. As in, I felt very connected to my core, and I felt like I was just so grateful for life. Life is so beautiful if we just, choose to look at the beautiful things in life, and we use our talents and services to help those who are in need.
Yeah. So aside from being what is that, synchronicity? We
Yes,
are
sir.
all interconnected. People,
Yes.
planet, our Earth. So thank you for that, for joining us for one day in the island of Olango, which the island that was protected by our national hero. And we can be a hero all over the Philippines or over the planet, protecting our resources and people. So much that I'd like to interact, but we have lesser time. So any more last
Yes.
message, Ms. Claire, inspiring people watching you, and then how are we can support your journey, hopefully leading to Miss Earth Philippines 2021.
Wow. Well, I'm just very thankful, sir, especially for you, Sir Dan, for really taking me under your wing and for giving me all of the different immersion that my heart needed, that I did not know that I need. And right now in the pageant, we are actually in the we're in the part where we do need votes for us to be able to get into the semifinals. Although it's not necessary, pero that's a secured spot that's there. So hopefully you guys can support and as much as you can. You can download the ecosystem app on the Google Play Store and on the App Store, and you can look for the person who you want to vote for. You can just search Claire Codilla or Lapu-Lapu City, and you just need to vote once. Ayun na talaga, your vote is going to be instrumental in my journey and hopefully spreading the message of those stories that need to be presented. And of course, for those who are watching right now, you can like our Miss Philippines Earth page. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, and we have our little eco videos that we submit every other day or maybe even every day. So hopefully you can learn from that and be educated with all of the ways that we can do to segregate our waste, for us to support all of these sustainable endeavors and businesses. And let's just make this world a better place by cooperating and collaborating and really doing our part in taking ownership of our waste and saving Mother Earth by enjoying the beauty that's there so that future generations can enjoy what we see as well. Thank you so much, Sir Dan. Very, very grateful to be here po.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Miss Claire. Mag-ending
Thank
sana ako,
you.
but you have said it already. So with that,
Pwede po,
let's
Sir
get it
Oy.
done. Sustainable. And thank you, Miss Claire. Thank you, Miss Hilary. Don't forget tomorrow, 2 p.m. There's this food summit organized by the Global Shapers Manila Hub, and let's watch and patronize and give support to Miss Earth Philippines and to our friend from Lapu-Lapu City, Miss Claire Codilla. So good evening, everyone. Have a sustainable PH, as well as make yourself vaccinated. And as Hillary had said, let your votes count, register to vote. Thank you very much and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
Daghang salamat. Bye everyone. Take care.